we should mention that the big beautiful bill just passed Congress, and I don't know. I mean, I will have more to say about this in the coming weeks, but hard to conceive of what this bill is and what it's going to do in a way other than just national suicide.
Yeah, so they are cutting over 10 years $1.05 trillion from Medicaid, I think was the final number. And their caveat is like, no, don't worry. It's just we're going to just have twice a year checkups for work requirements for like adults without children. The Senate was like, that sounds good, but also that should include people with children over 14.
Yes.
So only 40% of children in America are covered by Medicaid, though. So this is, whatever. They are also giving about $200 billion for basically like a concept sketch to Lockheed Martin for this thing called the Golden Dome.
Felix, I am dumbfounded by this.
It's amazing.
I am dumbfounded by this.
So the Golden Dome, part of it is like it's Lockheed Martin loves doing this where they're advertising things that we already have 50 things for. A lot of them sold to us by Lockheed Martin. They're like, this will defend against ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. And for people who don't know, the range of most cruise missiles in the world is around like 150, 250 miles, which is to say,
the Golden Dome we have are the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans.
Right.
Yeah.
If someone was in our airspace firing cruise missiles at us, presumably worse events have transpired.
Yeah.
That means we've lost a war.
Yeah.
But we already have a billion things for anti-ballistic missiles. There's a lot of, no one really knows how well ballistic missile interception works because it is sort of the equivalent of trying to slice a bullet out of the sky with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is the equivalent of saying that you can slice like an entire magazine out of the sky with a sword and charging $70,000 every time you attempt it. So with existing technologies and existing like anti-ballistic missiles, they say they're going to integrate satellites, AI networks, which is already, imagine the efficacy of when you type something into Google, Nancy Mays used bra sale. And the answer you get, put a battery in the microwave for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That for missile defense, that for just a missile system that covers the entire continent. And then the cherry on top for me is that they're basically saying that they're going to invent a type of weapon that doesn't exist yet and that there's no prototype for, which is to say a weapon that has only been depicted in the game Metal Gear Solid. They're basically saying that they are going to invent missiles fired by either railguns or lasers.
How can a missile
energy weapon?
They're doing it.
It can't.
Directed energy weapon that itself fires a missile. Wouldn't the directed energy weapon destroy the missile? Oh, it's a directed energy weapon that destroys a missile.
No. It fires a missile.
But wouldn't the directed energy weapon destroy the missile? Maybe.
No. Well, no. It's firing the It's firing the interceptor missile.
What?
This is the most fucking insane. No other democracy, no other nuclear armed country on earth would buy this piece of shit. Even Israel would go, what the fuck? They would kick you out of the country.
Can't they fix this train?
India, the country where they conducted an air operation because Modi thought that clouds made them invisible, would go, get the fuck out of here with this piece of shit. So they're getting $200 billion now. This program will probably industry estimates have it at $500 billion to do everything that's in the brochure. So it will probably cost exactly the same as what we're cutting from Medicaid. I mean, I've seen estimates for Golden Dome that go as high as $800 billion. Again, this is the American contractor bloat state. So I think the directed energy fucking Metal Gear Rex railgun alone will cost $400 billion. But I mean, I don't know. In any other democracy, if you voted for this thing, you would, right when you vote for it, you're like, I'm retiring from Congress and I'm moving to under the Denver International Airport.
Yeah, I mean, is there like a shit ton of money for Homeland Security too?
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
the
the
craziest
ICE
thing is
budget.
ICE will now be like the largest federal law enforcement agency in the world.
Amazing.
I think ICE's budget now is $150 billion, which is like I think the Marines
Jesus
operate on a
Christ.
budget of $50 billion a year.
$45 billion now just to build new immigration centers. I think $100 billion to DHS. But I mean, before ICE, just not DHS, but ICE, their budget was like less than 1/20th of this. I mean, I do think that a lot of that is going to go into contractor state stuff, but it's still fucking horrifying.
It's crazy. These guys are fucking these bums too.
I will say like the addendum to this is the alligator Auschwitz, which just opened up in Florida, and they built that in like a week or something like that. And I think it's nice that Trump is embracing the abundance agenda of just build things, cut the red tape, build things.
Yeah,
dude. Honestly,
I mean, like all of this is like the cuts to Medicaid. Like I don't think that can really be separated from the ongoing televised spectacle of cruelty, which is I think that their way of sort of couching any domestic anxiety over how cruel and vicious life is going to be made for many people in this country, with the televised spectacle of it being much crueler and more vicious to other people.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen a lot of these right wing people on the internet go like really embrace the talking point that like, oh well, if we get all these people deported, then actually the housing crisis is over because that's who has all the houses. It's like Mexican immigrants or whatever. And so I think you're just going to see a lot of that stuff. It's going to be like something's going to happen where like not as many people get deported, or maybe it will. I don't know. Or maybe that won't. But like, and that's going to be like the reason that things are worse is because they didn't get to like fully do what they were trying to do or whatever. I don't know. I haven't really actually looked at the big, beautiful bill that much because I figured it would take like a few more days. But it's just, I think to me, like the one thing I'm always like sort of shocked by is just how shitty so many of the fucking roads are in this country. And you'd think that would be like one of the things that they really kind of focused on. I mean, I guess Biden did some of that stuff. But like, if you're Trump, I mean, that's also like an easy win is to do a shit ton of infrastructure stuff. But I guess that like, yeah, I guess no one gives a shit about that. I don't know.